Welcome back, everyone, to another Market Open live stream. Today, we have another kind of mixed day where, well, there's no real Santa Claus rally left anymore after we hit all-time highs on that S&P yesterday and then promptly slipped down. And crypto got rejected off 52,000 all pretty much around the same time. And now people are continuing their fear. We're seeing that same sort of risk sell-off over and over again here with convictionless rallies and the Dow basically flat, S&P flat, NASDAQ pretty much flat as well, but they look red. And we have bond yields actually up a little bit, 0.03, almost 0.04 today on the 10-year. So a little bit more fears here. Part of that could be because Bloomberg ran a story about how inflation fears are basically eating away at everything. Let me see if I can pull up that story. But they had a good story this morning reactivating those fears. It was similar to what they had yesterday. Oh, yeah, there it is. It's actually one of their top stories. Yesterday, they had a similar revision to inflation forecasts, and it seemed like that was one of the things that helped Bitcoin reject off 52, leading the alts to sell down, leading the S&P to drop off all-time high. And what you got over here is, look at this, big S&P 500 bear market case. So this is, an option for 2022, basically, sees inflation finally eating everything. Corporate America's well-oiled earnings machine may have been the backbone of virtually every bullish equity argument this year. It's helped stocks power past the Fed's madness, but stubbornly high price pressures may end up forcing a rethink of those ever-increasing profitability predictions. So goes the main bear case on U.S. stocks, which notes that after a steady climb since last year, the 12-month estimates for the S&P are operating and 12-month estimates for operating margins have stalled out since mid-October. And so anyway, they're talking about basically this big plateau is what they were talking about in the article. And they're basically saying how we might be going into 2022 with this flat, sideways trading quietness until we actually and finally see a real shift in inflation. It also doesn't help that their suggestion yesterday was that inflation in December to January tends to do this weird little drop, and then you kind of keep rotating, that this is sort of like an annual pattern that happens, that you get this drop of inflation somewhere around December and January, which isn't great because it kind of sends the signal to folks that like, oh yeah, if you see any reduction in inflation, don't worry, that's just temporary. It's going right back up. Yeah, kind of crazy. So we'll see how this evaluates. But anyway, the big fight is, are companies going to be able to continue to push along price increases, and will consumers keep paying that? Right now, the last year, consumers have sort of been emboldened to continue paying these higher prices. But expectations are that once their sort of income goes down in 2022, less of a child tax credit, less, after maybe the boost we'll get between February and April with that one federal remaining tax credit for remaining child tax credit payment, then that might be it, to the point where people are like, that's it, I'm out of money now. I got to go back to the frugal decade we talked about way back in 2020. We'll see, but let's take a look at some individual stocks and see how see what's moving today. So let's start with losers here. Take a look at this. So we got losers here. Okay, so losers, we've got Fuel Cell, 12.1%. Wow, 12.1%. This probably got to be a news item on that one. Somebody here says, if you talk about your buys in public, why can't you tell us about yourself? Well, I mean, sometimes I do. In fact, if you go back to November, I posted a bunch of videos about stuff I was selling and stuff I was even shorting. So I'm confused by that. But if you want every single notification, you should know by now. They got a course link down below. Actually, I don't even know if it's linked down below. I'll add it to the links down below. But anyway, you can just go to metkevin.com/join and look at my programs on building your wealth, and then there you go. But anyway, the Stocks Psychology Money gives you all the alerts, but I don't know why you get that complaint. It's like, yeah, I don't post every fart online, with the exception of in the course, because that's what I promised to do. But anyway, let's see. I want to figure out what's going on with FCell. That's a 12%. It's a big decline, especially for one. This had quite a bit of momentum for a while as well. Look at the momentum just for comparison here. What we had coming out of the end of last year, this went from a $2 stock to $29, and now it's sitting at $6.02. That's interesting, mostly from a momentum perspective. But why it would be down 12% today? That kind of implies that there was some kind of downgrade or some additional pain. Let's see here. I will find out. Okay, so FCell. Oh, it looks like they may have had earnings. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'm not invested in this one, and I've never been. I don't know. I couldn't bring myself to make a buy in this one, but it says here, Fuel Cell sees fiscal year 2022 company funded research of 45 to 55 million, capital spending 40 to 50 mil. We've got a loss of 7 cents. The estimate was for a loss of 4 cents. Sales of 13.9 was a massive miss from the almost $22 million sales estimate. Wow. Well, that'll do it. Big old miss. All right. So let's see here. All right. One of the things that I'm going to look for, by the way, is I'm going to start looking for lots of options to potentially sell. And the reason I'm going to do that, and I'm going to probably taper, or taper is a weird way to phrase it, spread out what kind of options I make moves on. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wait to see how the market behaves the first hour of this day here. And if it's kind of the way we expect, where we get some large red candlesticks, and then we see some green, and then we see some red again, in other words, like big sideways trading, I think there are going to be some nice opportunities to look at individual stocks, certain ones that are a little bit on the higher side, and sell some calls, and those that are closer to our floor prices, and sell some puts, but only in those that have higher volatility. So we can take a look at some of those and kind of write them down. So I'm going to make like a little T chart. I'll make a little list, and we're going to make it kind of like the naughty and nice list. The sell put will be the nice one because they're at the floor. And then we'll do a sell call list. But then we'll only do that on those with high volatility. Relatively high. Okay. So FCell keeps plunging. Anyway. Okay. So backed $9. Rivian 101. I also wouldn't sell calls on something I didn't own. That would be a little scary. Especially if there does end up coming some insane, maddening rally, which is entirely possible. But anyway, lot of negativity today, by the way, on COVID. It's worth mentioning this. Take a look at this. If you go to nyt.com, which I know that probably like 40% of people groan over the New York Times. I get it. They're not that bad. Like the LA Times is horrible. And like so one-sided. The LA Times and New York Times is a wee bit better. Okay, a wee bit better from horrible. I actually enjoy them. Some of their stuff you just have to know, like, okay, there's going to be somewhat of a left tilt here. But look at this, folks. Look at all of this Omicron news. I mean, without even just clicking on it, everything. Omni. at least on the front over here, it's just like saturating. So the scariest thing that we're seeing is a rise in child cases of hospitalizations, little children needing fluids and oxygen. Um, you know, uh, let's take a look at it. But cases in New York of child hospitalizations rose from like 20 to over 107, I think it was, as of 2 days ago when I last did an Omicron video, which I'll probably do one later today. But anyway, several states have reported increases of about 50% in pediatric admissions for COVID in December. New York experienced the most dramatic rise, a fourfold jump in 2 weeks. But experts expressed concern about a marked jump in hospitalizations, an increase of more than double that among adults. Preliminary data suggests that compared with Delta, Omicron appears to be causing mild illness in children, similar to the findings in adults, but the pediatric admissions results from the sheer number of children who are being infected with both Delta and Omni, as well as low vaccination rates among children over 5. Yeah, but it's not just children over 5. I mean, the other thing too is the children under 5 can't get vaccinated yet. And one of the things about children not being able to get vaccinated under 5 is the trials show that the 2-shot vaccine's not effective. They're now doing 3-shot doses, out of the gate for children under 5, just not getting an immune reaction, which is wild. Anyway, what we're seeing in our ICU makes it crystal clear that vaccination is the single most important thing you could do to protect your child from this virus, says a particular doctor, chief of pediatric critical care in New York. That's just devastating. But anyway, it breaks my heart to think about children in the ICU. It really does. But anyway, yeah. Okay, so this is interesting. The rate of this is actually very interesting. The rate of pediatric COVID admissions in much of the country was still below the peak of what was typically seen in with the seasonal flu added, which that's good. Why'd they say was, which is not good? Some of the recent increase, he said, was most likely tied to delays in seeking medical attention for children as infections soared again. I see. So it's interesting. We'll keep an eye on this, but that's actually a positive line that you're seeing less than what you have with the flu. That's good. He said, awaiting more telling data about the length of hospitalizations and then information on whether or not you need oxygen or intubation. Okay, got it. That's ventilation, obviously. Okay, so anyway, I wanted to point that out because I know that was something that was asked. Okay, so let's go back over here. Let's see what we got. Okay, so Coinbase 258, Lucid 36. It's going to be very interesting to see how Lucid and Rivian perform when we get delivery numbers in like the next week or two. Let me take a peek here. Let me see here. You go for, it's almost tempting. I don't even know why it's not fully loaded, but anyway, it's almost tempting to look at put options for, look at that. Let's see can you buy a put for 35 for Jan 7th? Be interesting. That would cost you about 1.23 divided by 35. But we're not even at 35 right now, so that's not as ideal. Let's go to 37. And now the pricing is not updating. Come on, Weeble, what is this crap? Give me yesterday's options pricing. All right, whatever. It's $2.18. Okay, $2.18. Oh, kind of pricey. $2.18. It would cost you 6.22% to buy that. And then theta decay is going to be nasty. You're going to lose about 11 cents a day, and that's going to accelerate. So 0.11 divided by 2.18. You're going to lose 5% a day. Oh, man. It's just, ugh. You gotta, you're gonna have some pain buying options, I think, especially if the market's sideways. I know we're optimistic for a rally, but this is certainly feels like the kind of market where you want to be like, well, I'll sell some options and pick up some premiums, because I'll tell you, last month it's been sideways, sideways, sideways. So I don't know. Next interview left. Oh gosh. All right. So let's keep going with my list here. Okay. So a firm, $100. What do I get if I sell some calls on a firm? Let's see here, just for gigs. If I go sell calls for the first week of January on a firm for $110, and let's say you had, I don't know, for giggles, just for comparison's sake, we'll do everything as if you have $100,000 of a firm divided by $110. Let's say you have 1,000 shares of a firm. So let's say you have 10 contracts. That's fair. So about $110,000, 10 contracts. You sell calls against that entire position. You're only getting $2,700 at 110. Well, that's not that great. If you go to at the money, 110 or $100, you're getting $5. You're getting $5,000, 5% for a week. Okay. You go out to Jan 21. Now we're looking at, what are we looking at here? Jan 21, $100. Well, or do 102 where you got the money. $8,000 for 3 weeks. I don't know. 8% for 3 weeks. You go into a rally, you lose all your shares. I don't know. Not that exciting on a firm. It's a covered call on a firm. I wonder if it'd be better off on a firm, you sell some puts. Depends on where we've been with our spreads. But I'm going to take a peek. Now, you might want to sell puts if you wanted to buy more shares. So if I do a put sell, yeah, see, I sell a put, I get that same $8,000. But then you're staking, basically, in this case, $102,000. And if it sells for less than this, you're buying those shares. All right, let's see. So Dave & Buster's. Wow. When did Dave & Buster's run to 38.50? That's crazy. That's at the sell point. Okay, well, let me look at the upside here. So momentum. Okay, so we got some momentum stocks actually moving green. Matterport 1.6, Tesla about 1%. Talk about Elon Musk being done selling, completing his options exercise, but not completing his 10% share sell. I think they're in a black or like a blackout period right now where they can't sell shares. So it's kind of interesting. Implies he's done, but he didn't sell his full 10%. So there's still one little batch left to go. Oh well. So, what about some of those like Corsair or Robinhood? Let's do a quick little peek over here at options on these guys. Futures going up now, and then we got to look at crypto as well. We'll do that in just a sec. Oh yeah, look at that slight little increase now on futures. They started red just a little bit ago, so that's nice. So Corsair, for example, if you went over here to some of these that have been trading a little bit more sideways along the bottom, let's take a peek here. Come on. Now, Weeble's driving me nuts. Oh my gosh. Speaking of which, if you want to sign up for Weeble, make sure to go to metkevin.com/Weeble and get yourself 5 totally free stocks. Okay, so 22.50, you sell a put here, $1.35, 3 weeks. What is that? 5%? Yeah. Sell a call if you have shares. $910, 91 cents for 22. Nah, it's a thing. So because we've been trading sideways already, some of the volatility just isn't that great. I mean, you could make a list and you could sell calls if you were nervous. You could sell them as hedges. Some of those that might come to mind is you could sell some calls against, Google, Nvidia, maybe sell 1 to 2 week out, but you're picking up like 2 to 3% moves here. I don't know if it's worth it unless you think there's no way we're going to have a rally going into next year. Tesla, it's unconstrained now from Elon Musk moves, but I don't know. Let's look. Let's say you had 1,000 shares of Tesla. Let's take a look. 1,000 shares of Tesla would be like $1 million, by the way. But anyway, let's just say, for giggles, 1,000 shares of Tesla, and you sold a call at the money. That's $65K. Right now that's like getting 6.5% ish, more like 6%. But that's not bad. You wanted to pick up 6% for how many days is this? 22, 23, 23 days. Not bad. So, I don't know, Matterport. Let's take a look at Matterport. Yeah, sell some calls against Matterport. That'd be an interesting idea. So what if you sold some out of the money calls on Matterport? See, I can't trust this thing is not updating. Go to sell calls. So if you went to that's not great. Yeah, I mean, you're going to get like nothing if you go out to $30. So you're really getting at $2 or $22.50. You're getting about $2. $25, you're getting about $1. So if for 23 days you wanted to sell calls at $25 against Matterport, that would get you 1.05 divided by 25-ish. Gives you about 4.5%. It's actually not bad. I saw somebody saying that in the comments. It's not bad. What else could we sell some calls against if you wanted to? Let's do a look here. Trade Desk. Yeah. How about shares buy or wait? Yeah, I like buying shares. The cool thing about buying shares is you're not speculating on the short term. So I do like buying shares a lot. Sell some calls over here for 3 weeks. Get about 5.5% as well. That's also not bad. Trade Desk. Not bad. Etsy's probably not that great. Etsy 221, kind of near a floor. Wonder if it'd almost be better to sell some puts. Let's see. Okay, it's not going to show me any pricing. Fine then. Fine, we'll wait for the market to open. It's only another 7 minutes. Fine. But that's not a bad, in my opinion, strategy. If you think this nonsense false start rallies are going to continue, which is exactly what we keep seeing here on BTC. This run back to support over and over and over again. It's exhausting. Sell option. See options pricing on Upstart. Ooh, there should be some nice volatility on Upstart. So I don't own Upstart, and I don't think I really want to own it. But let's just say I sold some puts for. There's no pricing. I don't know if this is. Yeah, no, I'm not getting pricing. We'll take a peek when the market opens, but that's not a bad idea. I'm gonna write that down. Put that under the sub Upstart. That's not bad. Okay, so there we go. Look at that. Throughout the night, throughout the morning hours here, 4 a.m. to 5:39, we sat right along this bottom line over here, 46.5. Just broke out, recovered back over 47. But it seems to be so common for us to revisit these two support lines. It's incredible. All right. So Let's see here. Mm-hmm. Okay, not much moving up, quite frankly. Quite boring. Let's Embraer, Tesla, Goldman Sachs. Okay, whatever. Let's go take a peek at some other news. Let's see which we got here. All right. So Harris quietly taps Wall Street tech CEOs for advice on policy. Oh, that's weird. Really? Kamala Harris has increasingly turned to corporate executives from Wall Street and Silicon Valley to serve as informal advisors. Really? Citigroup, Microsoft, Cisco. Discussions with corporate leaders cleared the way for what Harris called one of the biggest first-year triumphs, the bipartisan infrastructure plan. And corporate leaders say the vice president is continuing to engage them on other challenges, from the resurgence of COVID to supply chain constraints and semiconductor shortages. Huh. Yeah, I don't think Democrats usually like that. Democratic voters already unhappy with her over her career as a prosecutor before the election, and now tying to big corporations. Could be problematic if she seeks the party's nomination for prez. Oh, I hadn't even thought about that, but I guess that is possible. I don't know. Who here thinks we could see a President Kamala Harris? We just started out someone. I mean, it makes sense, but I don't think that's exactly what you want to come across as politically. But okay, all right, we'll see. All right. Well, Bitcoin's recovered a little bit. Talked about Elon Musk. I don't think. I mean, he's still got a little bit left to go for his 10%. Somebody says she is the president. Oh man, the Biden jokes. Yeah. Quite an interesting divergence there in the chat. And I think the next Evergrande test, I think, is Tuesday, by the way. Yeah, let's see here. 2 more dollar bond coupon payments due Tuesday. Interest that investors aren't expecting will be paid after the property giant failed to do so on other debt. $50.4 million are due on a 7.5% bond, and another $204 million tied to an 8.75% bond. Oh gosh, just an interest. 8.75%. All right, Evergrande has a 30-day grace period to deliver the payments before the default can be declared on these 2 bonds, and that period would begin on Wednesday. Evergrande with the pain. Yeah. China keeps saying, "Oh, the market will deal with it." Yeah, we'll see about that. All right, 45 seconds until the market opens. We did have the indices go slightly green. Yeah, look at that. Slightly green, but still mostly flat. As we challenge the notion of a Santa Claus rally. But we'll see what happens in the first minute over here. We are back. Look at that. We are back to trend line on S&P. Kind of wild. Anyway, let's listen in.
Yeah, it's true, especially when you think about it. And we've talked about this last couple of days. Going into the end of the year, a lot of the bullish narratives are multi-layered when it comes to Apple. It's not just about what we might hear in the spring, Leslie, in terms of capital return, the spring quarter typically where they talk about that kind of thing, but also the optionality around a new product in the AR, VR space this year. And then, of course, there's always I won't call it a pipe dream because some are quite convinced it will happen, but the idea of a car, as the company has proven lately that they are.
All right. So kind of mixed there. 60% green, a little mixed as well here on how the SPY opened. Kind of saw a little red bar there at first and trying to go green here. So let's see what's moving. Where's the momentum today? Tesla's trying to go green here. Look at that. Ooh, look at that move. 1.2%. Ooh, look at Adobe come back a little bit here. 0.75%. Nvidia's got a nice little green here. Awesome. You've got there's Upstart. Upstart showing some momentum again. Tesla must have just red candled a little bit. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that U-turn on Tesla. So much volatility right at the beginning. No idea which way it's gonna go. AMC. Ooh, that's a nice little run there on AMC. Getting started. See if that lasts. 1.2% there. People opening some trading positions on AMC, it looks like. Usually we see Upstart up here as well. Let's see where Upstart is. Upstart. Yeah. Nice little move as well on Upstart. Roku's actually down about 2%. Ooh, that's interesting. Roku rotating down a little bit. Shift Technologies rotating down a little bit. Tattooed Chef's getting beat up here. The small caps getting shorted again, probably. It looks like Matterport actually just went red. MTTR. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Let's see here. Zoom down a little bit. So smaller companies still getting pained. Robinhood down 1%. Matterport down. Let's go to LSID. Let's take a look at that. They're obviously substantially larger, but look at that rejection off that 36.94 line. That support line is now becoming a resistance over here. We'll see. I mean, we're just in the minute candlesticks here, but that's what it's setting up for right now. FCell now down almost 14%. Western Digital 5.5%. Tesla's fallen off the top here. Build-A-Bear moving. So you got some momentum stocks moving. AMC, Build-A-Bear, Western Digital, TMC, something Weber. Some of these things have had some nice momentum. FCell. Ooh, look at Newegg down 12%. Ooh. Matterport down 2.5%. SoFi down 1.68%. SoFi would just almost be painful to sell covered calls on at this level, but I'm going to look because it's so low near the floor. It would almost be better to sell puts. But let's take a peek. If you sold calls on SoFi at $15, you got 85 cents for 3 weeks. That works out to, that's about 5.6% selling calls at $15. Whoa. I'm going to write that one down. That's not bad, actually. What about Hood? The Rob of the Hood. If I sold a $20 call, I'd get about 66 cents. That's not as good. That is about 3.3, but then again, I'm also $3 over. So let me go, I don't know, let me go to 18. Yeah, see, then you get a $1.35. That changes things. $1.35. That's 6.7%. That's not bad either. Hood. All right. Yeah, let's look at Shift. I don't think the new year is going to necessarily be any catalyst. You know, people keep thinking, oh, a tax loss harvesting on this. I don't know. Okay, so can you even sell a put for $2.05? These are people who think it's going bankrupt. Now you get 5 pennies. I mean, that's not even gonna execute. 2%. There's no way. What if you sold a call at $5? What do you get? $0. You can't even do options on Shift. It's just there just aren't enough options. All right. pricing's too whack. AMC, couple percent. Western Digital is moving nicely. Let me see if there's any particular news here. Back end on Western Dig. Let's see here. Western Digital. Oh, yeah. I haven't heard that one before. Tesla's a bubble. That's a first. Okay. Western Digital. Come on, man. Pull it up, would you? There we go. What is this crap? All right. I don't know what it is with Western Digital today. Oh, there we go. Got it. Okay. So what's the problem with it? Western Digital. Nope. No news. Hey, Alexa, stop talking to me. Dummy. Okay, so Western Digital, I see no news, yet it seems to be running about 6%. Yeah, it's up about 6%. All right. Some form of momentum coming in through here. While F-Cell recovered a little bit, Voyager Digital down about 8% here. Moves pretty heavily when we get a move here in crypto. We've got Lucid down about 2.3%. Xpeng's going down. SoFi almost down 2%. Affirm down about 1.5%. Okay. We got ourselves a bona fide sideways market. Tesla is now negative. All right. All right. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and take a peek at some other news. See if we can get anything over here. Let's go to Barron's. See what they're saying. Really? Did you guys log me out? Oh, yeah. That's fine. Omicron spread will slam first quarter GDP. Here's how bad things will look. Oh, yeah. That's just what you need. So this kind of implies, without having read this yet, but I'm going to write this down, that we have some catalysts. So I'm going to write this down. Q1 GDP as a catalyst, which we won't really know probably until at least 6 weeks in, like what kind of trajectory we're on. CPI schedule of releases. Let's get the schedule of CPI releases. Jan 12th. The next CPI. That's going to be critical because if we go to 7%, people are going to vomit. Jan 12th CPI catalyst. Now, I don't think we're going to have a jobs report until like the 6th. Let's see. Schedule. Let's see. Jobs report. And then, okay, so here's the jobs report. The 7th. Yeah. So that's a late jobs report. Jan 7 jobs. And then we have an FOMC meeting in Jan, but we don't actually expect anything to happen. All the way at the end of January, though, before my birthday. Jan 25 to 26. Ugh. Fed catalyst. The market expects a 90% shot we'll have our first rate increase by March, but we do have a March meeting as well. And we're not going to be done tapering in January. Yeah. You know, I know it. See, one of the things that is problematic about your comment, Silencer student, is your comment suggests that airports are full, flights are full, Knott's Berry Farm is filled to the brim, Disneyland sold out in full. Part of the problem is there aren't enough employees to actually get people through airports. So airports are backed up like crazy, canceling flights. You're getting people hearing this in the news like every day. So what's happening? People are canceling travel preemptively because it's like, oh man, this case count's getting worse or whatever. Let's cancel travel. So there's this fear that people are going to basically self-censor and you're going to get actually slower growth than you should in Q1. Log into this because of people's fears or solely just people's impression of how bad things actually are out there compared to if we didn't have Omni. So that I think is a little bit more concerning. But let's take a look at what Barron says, because it does seem like an interesting article. Dude, I just signed in. Oh, come on. It even says Kevin right there. I'm like, what's your problem? Sign in to continue reading. I did, you moron. Oh, man. I really want to read that piece, too. Just going to go to a private browser and try again. So exhausting. I'm so tired of them making me log in over and over and over again. Can I just like log in once and just stay logged in for, how about a month? Can I get a month as opposed to this like every 2-day thing, sign back into Barron's? It's a freaking news subscription. Like, it's one thing if your bank account signs you out after, an hour or 30 minutes of inactivity. But come on, man, a newspaper or like a once a week Mac? Come on, man. All right, here we go. Omicron variant is on track to wreak economic havoc in the first quarter of 2022, as widespread outbreaks are leading to cancellation. There you go. Cancellations of thousands of flights, forcing businesses to close due to staff shortages and prompting shutdown of professional sporting events. So that's the problem. Some things could still seem full, but it could be a problem. I'm in Europe and travel is the opposite. Flights canceled for staff isolating. Flights that do take off are empty. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Well, you guys got all the like maddening lockdowns and stuff. Like Germany wants to have a bad GDP read. And so does Europe. Like Europe just wants like to keep their 1% mortgage rates apparently. So it's like, let's just have no growth. Obviously being facetious, but anyway, the diminished activity is leading economists to mark down their forecast for economic growth. Moody's Analytics revised their forecast for GDP growth down roughly 5% at an annualized rate to closer to 2% because of Omicron spread. Jefferies slashed to 1.5% from 6.6% for first quarter growth. Wow. Yeah, so I mean, these GDP reads are really indicative of fear and FUD that we're not going to have the answer to how this stuff plays out for another 6 weeks. Let's see here. Average weekly hours for employees working in personal service sectors has dropped sharply over the past month in New York City, the epicenter. Consumer spending, meanwhile, has weakened noticeably in recent weeks, according to JPM's analysis of credit card data. See, that's just not good. Omicron cases so far appear to be milder, right? We already know that. Whole different level of disruption. Near-term damage, however, economists are expecting a significant bounce back in the second and third quarter, revising their GDP estimates up. So the whole of Q1, I'm going to put it, the whole, HOLE. All right. This is temporary. Yep, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, all right. We shall see. We shall see. I wonder how cases are in the UK. United Kingdom cases, COVID. Let's take a peek. Can we get new data yet? Let's see. United Kingdom. Oh, I want to know the change, not the total. Wait, hold on. Here we go. No, that does me no good. 7-day average. I want to know the daily count. Where's my daily count? 7-day rolling average. 7-day rolling average keeps going up. Okay, 113, 114,000. Okay, I'll go through this a little later. But anyway, we'll keep comparing. We're waiting for an inflection point, really, in that 7-day average anyway. And we saw it there briefly for a moment, but that can also just be weekend testing showing up that with that drop. We get the same thing in the United States. So what's happening over here in stocks? Well, fuel cells now down more, 14.6 on that earnings disaster. Whoa, look at Matterport down 4.5%. Neo down 4.3. How can Neo go down 4.3 off of 29? Oh, it's just getting whacked. Ay ay ay. DraftKings getting whacked. Neo's breaking through the floor. That's scary. Neo keeps going lower. SoFi is down another 3%. Affirm's down 3%. Wow, there's some nice red today. Dutch Bro, Shift Technologies, just when you think you can't go any lower, it goes even lower. Cloudflare down 2.3. Woo! Roku's down 1.71. Piton, Nvidia's down. ARC's down. How are the indices still positive with this much red? Tesla's down a third. This doesn't make sense. It's just some of the recovery stocks not doing that bad. And the indices are, yeah, ironically, you still have green in the Dow and the S&P. It's just nutty. How about Apple, Microsoft? How are these guys doing? And did they change the ticker yet to Meta? No. FB. Facebook's down. MSFT. Microsoft's actually up. Oh, that carries a big weight. And Apple's up. Is that more flight to safety? Google up a little bit. What a mess. What a mess. Ay, ay, ay. Santa is in a slasher movie. Oh my gosh. Have you read This United Nation? If it's a book, no. If it's an article, send the link. All right. So that was an great, very good article actually for Barron's, I have to say. Here's another, more FUD on inflation. This is what we saw over at Bloomberg as well. Inflation could stay elevated for months. Oh, but why is this from December 14th? This is from like 2 issues ago. That's boring. It doesn't matter. AT&T stock is cheap. Why it's one of Barron's picks for 2022. Ooh. Yeah, AT&T it's like $24 now or something like that. And it always used to be $30. Lost a bunch of money. And 20, it's almost 25 now. Thoughts on ChargePoint about to hit a 52-week low. Yeah. Wow, under 18 now. The pain just continues. Don't I really have thoughts. Although I did think that a lot of the charging companies were a little bit on the overvalued side. So it's not a surprise, but it's also kind of frustrating for a lot of folks who are looking for that energy revolution. I will say if you go to end phase, you have a similar set of drawback over here, though it hasn't broken support. AT&T is the stable coin stock with its like 7% dividend. That's a good one. The stable coin stock that's actually not stable and has lost like 20% in the last year. Yeah, that would make people think twice about stablecoins. Neo 4% now. It's like the pain keeps coming. All right. Out of money buying the dip. Yeah, look at that. This insanity. Neo, folks. Neo is now pricing at October of 2020 levels. The lost year. Oh, nasty. Well, you get some dark losers here. Could be a nice opportunity to sell some puts. So what's up? Let's look at that options pricing at Apple. Yeah, but how much would you really get selling calls, let's say, on Apple? Sell call, Apple, call it 185. So you get $2.81. I mean, that's barely even worth it. 281 divided by 185. Oh, that's quite loud. There we go. We are at, 1.15%. I mean, that's a boring sell call. If you go to at the money, that gives you a little bit more money. $4.90. It's almost double. Still 2.6% if you wanted to pick that up for 23 days. I think what'll look a lot juicier is you go into like something like Matterport. Yeah, because it's down. Sell a put. I don't know. Let's just try $20. Yeah, look at that. That's like 10% for 3 weeks. So there are definitely some puts coming out on this one. Oh yeah, big caps. That's what I'm saying, Vinny. Big caps are the flight to safety, man. It's all the big ones. That's where everybody's putting their money right now. And it's working, and it continues to work. Craziness. But that's the trend right now. Let's look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA's down a little bit, though. Tesla down 1% here. Only down about a third here on Tesla. All right, let's do another peek here. A new supply chain crisis is building. Uh-oh. Those expecting a quick end to the supply chain crisis are going to be sorely disappointed. Port backups, trucker shortages, factory closures, and shortages of raw materials are huge contributors. But a second wave looms. The wave will be harder to identify, and too many companies are focused on the current crisis without appreciating what's coming next. Viewed broadly, public and private companies across the globe reduced short-term risk during the pandemic by adding cash to their balance sheet. Despite taking this step, many took more risk from a long-term perspective. How does this happen? Companies' underlying business might improve while the cash lasts, but if they don't, they must get more liquidity and buy more time. If companies can't resolve their debt problems, they either fail or begin to cut corners that create unforeseen problems for their customers. Okay, here's how it'll play out. A supplier that cuts corners in IT spending might create cybersecurity risks. One that delays research and development is less innovative. Oh, so they're talking about a cash crunch. How PPP helped businesses survive. But now, the removal of some of this, and a mountain of debt that will need financing and refinancing could slow down the growth of a lot of companies, basically. Wow. All right. Very interesting. Yeah, we'll talk about Hex in the course member live stream later. Okay. But not much. Okay, so very interesting. Let's take a look at crypto here. So BTC's been actually recovering the last about hour here. We came off of that 46.5 level very nicely. Look at that. Nice recovery off that 46 level. Now we've got a little bit of a run on BTC. Good recovery here off this. It makes you question, is this going to be a false start or are we ready to go? That's the big question. Are we back into another false start for crypto? We've had quite a few of these. All right, what's Kate Rooney got to say? Hold on.
To face challenges as the Omicron variant spreads, and analysts are looking to names that can perform well in both open and more restricted environments and have pricing power and flexibility as inflation continues to weigh on the sector. Peter Slay at BTIG says his top pick for 2022 is Starbucks. Slay says investors should own names that cater to a higher income demographic in 2022, and that value will continue to be in focus for customers in the coming months and quarters. And for Andrew Charles at Cowen, Chipotle takes the top spot. Again, a company that has expressed it really has some room to run on pricing. Charles said that the premium valuation there is justified by the sales execution at the company. He points to the sales strategy the company is pursuing, which is focused on social responsibility, digital loyalty, and menu innovation. Now, other names mentioned as opportunities by Charles: Wingstop, and newly public companies this year, Sweetgreen and Dutch Bros. All of the names here I mentioned are digital focused, which will remain key with consumers who are looking to order via digital platforms for the foreseeable future. But Carl, the two top performers in this space for the year are Domino's, and taking the top spot, Papa John's. Back over to you.
Yeah, what a run for both of those names, Kate. Pretty incredible. Thanks, our Kate Rogers. We'll take a break here. Holding some, are getting close to some familiar levels. S&P near 4,800, Dow just around 36.5, and the VIX closer to 17 than 18. Back in a minute.
Crazy. All right, so Dow's up. S&P still trying to get to that all-time high there, that 48 level, which is crazy. And a lot of other things having a lot of pain in the meantime. Pretty wild market. It is crazy out there. I will be doing some options trading, and I'll send alerts for those to everybody in the Stocks Psych group. Let's see. Metals mixed on China's economic outlook. Virus surge. Blah, more FUD. Fear. Yeah, this is all pretty consistent. Okay, let's take a look at the Journ. Oh, and Financial Times could be good. Financial Times, streaming wars. 100 billion in new content. Ooh. Deloitte sued by female employee over harassment claims. U.S. cut estimate for Omicron prevalence to just over half. That was crazy. We saw a little bit of cut there. Just a 59% prevalence. Oh, I gotta log into the darn thing. IPO, drug maker battle, blah, 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 blah. All right. Should retailers split e-com? Yeah, this is because of Macy's and Saks at Fifth. They're actually talking about IPOing out just their online businesses. Raise some capital. All right. What else is happening here? Ooh, things are sparking down. It seems like more continued pain here. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Things are somewhat worsening in the smaller cap world. At the same time, Starbucks just got a little bit of that CNBC pump. And the bigger companies like Target, Costco, Home Depot, Apple, the Dow companies, Dow and S&P, top S&P companies, they're the ones holding everything up. But otherwise, you're getting some bigger pain in the smaller ones. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla now down 0.5%. Etsy down 0.6. Lucid's actually only down 0.7. That's not that bad. And it does seem like we're getting that little bit of that. Is that recovery continuing in BTC? Yeah, not quite. It's kind of the last 3 minutes slowed down a little bit. Alrighty. Well, there you have it. Crazy market. We'll see how things evolve. Thanks so much for being here, folks. I'll send some alerts on my options trade coming up soon, and we'll see you in the next one, folks. Thanks again. See ya. Bye.